Hello, it's time to go, a little bit deeper once again into what's been going on. CCP Okami and CCP Rattati are with me here for, a chat. Okami, you like to speak to the community.
Love to, yeah.
And you came over earlier. I'm like, hey, we got some stuff to talk to the community. Can we just throw out a podcast?
Yeah, so like every month I try to do a Discord check-in. I think Discord's a great place to be. But there's a lot of stuff happening right now, lots of stuff. And I was just like, why not just come jam, talk about it. We got Rattati here, so no better time.
Yeah. No, I'm like, just glad to sit down and not really know what you're going to tell me.
And this time we're not in a vault.
And we're not in a vault. Well, we need a vault.
Yeah. Can you get us one of those, Rattati?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
What is the vault budget?
Yeah. Do we have a vault budget?
I like how senior management does not know about our secret
they
vault
don't know,
where we store
right?
our secrets and all that stuff. Yeah, right.
That's
Okay. One thing that we want to maybe kick off with discussing is basically just kind of this notion that and discussion that spawned now after the Legion Major update that we did. What is it now? 2 weeks ago? No, a week ago.
Week.
Yeah. And basically just from the point of, understanding what the cadence is. We do expansions.
Yep.
We do updates. Obviously, we do patches and stuff like that. But like balance changes come in kind of specific places.
Yep.
So, maybe just start running a little bit through that. We did.
Sure.
Legion came out in May.
Legion was in early June.
It was early June.
Early
Yeah.
June.
FanFest was in May.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just after.
FanFest tickets
after
are on
FanFest.
sale for 2026.
Yeah, I'll see you there.
and we totally remember it happening. It happened.
Yeah, I mean, you guys said a lot of things on stage there, especially for the E keynote. Maybe the Legion keynote was more down to what came in the expansion. But yeah.
So, major updates. I talked about them at FanFest. They're kind of a newish thing to us, at least in the way that we're framing them as major updates and where we're releasing them, when we're releasing them, why we're releasing them. When are our major updates?
I think this has been a call from the community. Like, I think we've had ups and downs in how we approach balancing and meta updates. So we decided to just formalize this concept, kind of rebrand it as major updates.
Wait, are you telling me that back in 2003 we didn't already have a schedule on how the updates in 2026 would be?
So it's always like, how often do they happen? Did they have a name? Were they patches? Were they releases? We've been loose around the terminology of this. So we just decided, okay, let's just formalize this. An expansion is an expansion. It has a lot of kind of hard to make features that need to be scheduled well in advance and planned out.
New ships,
actual new features, new gameplay. Whereas the balancing meta economy stuff is more loose. It's more kind of like change numbers or change distributions, etc. So we don't need to complicate our lives on the development side by doing both at the same time. But we also had this call from the community to say, can we have a predictable kind of cadence on the major, like on balancing, for example? Because we've gone through, like, maybe once every 2 weeks we were trying to do a balance update, change a ship. And we got the feedback, okay, love the spirit, guys, but this is kind of, we can't keep up. Like, you change something and we try to adapt. We need to build the ships. We need to refit the ships. We need to spend like a week in PIFA.
And
like,
we
can't
just
keep up.
We also just see the time that it takes. Like, something might seem very well balanced or in a good place right now, but then people figure shit out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it's completely broken again.
So we wanted to formalize it. We're going to change the meta in some way, affect the meta, fix the things that are broken regularly, and we have a time like spot between expansions where we kind of say, okay, we need to look at this and we are already starting to look at the next major update. And then we don't have embarrassingly long times where like there's an OP meta of a ship or something. We have like a 6-month check-in, just completely blocked in. We promise to take a look at it. But I think the approach to the major update has been really interesting with the CSM and all that.
Yeah, I think the approach is good. And just the like bulk of the change too, like why it's a major update and not just an update or a minor update or something like that is like, honestly, if you look at the patch notes, they're longer than our expansions patch notes, right? Like
it took us 2.5 hours to go over it.
Yeah, right? Yeah, no, that was great. I love that.
And I will admit there were a few off-content routes we took or off topic, but there was a bunch to cover.
But I mean, this is healthy. Like Eve, at its heart, is about like efficiency and problem solving, right? And I think people solve problems pretty fast. We've got a lot of really smart players, and it's really healthy not just to fix problems, but for us to be meaningful in how we want to like do things like change our ship balance so that there are specific new metas and things that people need to form. Like that's healthy, and I think. I've certainly seen a lot of positive feedback about it. I know not every change we make is popular, but that's fine. That's why we're going to keep this cadence up because
it shouldn't be.
Yeah,
a change shouldn't be.
No, right.
When my OP stuff gets broken, I get pissed off.
What OP ship are you flying right now, by the way?
My ships seem to never be OP, and that's the problem I have with balancing.
You sure it's your ship?
Yeah, I mean, it is the only thing I can point to.
Okay.
It's maybe it's the weather or or somebody else is cheating,
or like the guys you're flying with, right? Might be them.
So yes, but I just don't want to throw them under the bus here.
Such a kind
But
fellow.
he doesn't want to be don't pay us to pay attention to.
Right.
That's the.
But okay, I'm gonna do something.
Rein it in.
We had a very long answer to this
mm-hmm.
because it all makes sense. But before we go deep dive basically the major updates and those things. If we just look at 12 months of EVE Online development, what happens? There's an expansion. Last one came when, shortly after FanFest, announced at FanFest, and shocking that we would have a reveal there.
Yeah.
But there is a cadence, and there is a plan. I've noticed. I've been looking through comments and stuff like that. There's quite a few people out there that have a hunch based on former experience when they might hear something next and stuff like that. But this whole thing of things being mentioned, for example, at FanFest, what people maybe don't quite realize is that we're talking about a 12-month period at least, or until basically next FanFest that we're talking about there, and maybe potentially some, when it's to division stuff and such. But maybe if we just, Rattati, if you maybe just go through kind of how the cycle is.
Yes. So we are always trying to look even further beyond the next expansion. So I would say that I'll just talk about the strategy. So strategy is kind of a 3 to 5 year thing for us. And we're kind of in the middle right now of having gone through 3 years of starting with the first Uprising expansion. And we're kind of in that period of what have we achieved in that? And we've achieved a lot. And the part of it was to kind of stick to a theme and iterate between expansions and on expansion and on expansion. I think we've proven that with core projects, organizational goals. We started small, but then we ended up with freelance projects, core projects, etc. So we've stuck through our guns and kind of iterated and given teams the time to actually 3 years. We want to go from A to B. So we're in the transition period right now, and we talked about that at FanFest, saying we're kind of at the end of the life cycle here, and we are kicking off a new life cycle in themes for the next 3 years. One of those was Gold Rush. The other one was, we called it War Engines. Maybe that's not the best name. We'll talk about it later, but Gold Rush is the most imminent one. And it's not an expansion, it's not a feature. It's a theme for the teams to work on with like proper guidance, but also that players can understand, okay, it's Gold Rush themed, it's kind of frontier, it's hostile, it's scary, it's dangerous, but it's a lot of lucrative resources, it's Klondike, etc. So that's the kickoff. And then we break it out piecemeal into maybe, let's say, 18 months. Like, what are the 3 next expansions? How can we kind of leapfrog, figure out things, iterate, and so on? So we are now, yes, we are going to do an expansion in this year, another one, by Christmas, big surprise. So now we have this major update, which is often about maybe fixing the last expansion, iterating on it. This time we didn't have to fix a lot. So it's mostly about balance and meta. And we're going into next expansion. And we're going to hear way more about it when the time is right. But that's kind of the cycle.
So an expansion cycle is essentially, it gets announced and everything like that. Expansion is live. And then there are a couple of updates. One of them being the major update, like we just saw.
Yep.
They like for Legion, there was one small content update basically, and then quite a lot of tweaks with that. But then we had the major update, which is kind of like maybe disruptive in some ways to metas and other such things. But this is kind of like a 6-month cycle that we're talking about.
It's a 6-month cycle between expansions. But if we've also talked about having predictable patterns where we upgrade the technology. So Eve Evolved is a beat that we're trying to strengthen as well, because you don't want to change technology, graphics, foundation, server, whatever, on an expansion. You want to battle test it before. So we pick a place kind of before or after an expansion, which is kind of good for that. So Eve Evolved is a beat that we're trying to aim for February and August, kind of in the low season in some way, like post-expansion, pre-major update. So we get this Eve Evolved beat, major update, expansion. And that's the pattern we're trying to kind of be consistent about.
And that's kind of where we get to, which is was the whole thing about discussing this, which is that, yes, the word major update might sound like a major content update, but that is something that we kind of leave for expansions.
Yeah. So just to be like, I think super concise and clear, our expansions are generally new features, new ships, new systems, things like that. Major updates are more focused on what I'd call like hygiene, like cleaning up stuff that might be a bit broken or not quite working from the expansion release, as well as major balance and ecosystem updates. So last major update was more focused on mining. This one's more focused on ships and ship meta. So that's generally what we can expect.
And we try to get like quality of life stuff in.
Yeah,
that's always coming in there.
It's good to have a focus. Like now we can ask more like, okay, what's planned? Like instead of saying like, we should probably do, instead like we can ask, what's planned for the quality of life bit in the major update? So it's like it's expected, and the team's kind of like, we always have a backlog. So it's also a window of opportunity for them to, I always wanted to fix this. Let's fix it. So it's really healthy to see where we're at the moment. But I think we didn't talk much about the habitats, like just all the stuff that we've been doing on Pochven, wormholes. This hasn't been done for like a very long time because it gave a little bit of a heads up time for a designer, a team to go in and say, okay, what's really wrong with Pochven? Like, let's go talk to the people that live there, do some research, and do like a targeted improvement pass. On that.
Shout out to CCP Rampant, who's been crushing that. So, yeah, making space for people like him to do good work there.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so we established this, and now I kind of have quite a few notes and stuff. Basically, Okami, like you were saying earlier, you want to, well, you don't want to, you literally always go to the community, go to the Discord, get the feedback, and there's kind of a few things that we've compiled from there that we want to discuss. Maybe just starting off with this major update now, the balancing changes and such. I mean, feedback's there. people that loved certain ships might be unhappy. People that felt they were left out somehow also. What's your kind of general take on? I think it's been mostly super positive, to be honest.
It's honestly, it's mostly been positive. I think the feedback thread continues to be active. Like every once in a while I look at it and I'm like, should I close it? But like lots of good discussion in there. I see Young Puke from CSM constantly engage, which is awesome. He's been a huge help. So yeah, I think like it's been generally positive for me. It's more about the philosophy of how we're tuning, and I think how we're kind of doing these big batches of changes as opposed to just fix that ship and now change this ship. So this is the part that I'm starting to see land, is this pattern that we're creating for major updates, and for saying we're not just going to change this ship and this ship and this ship. It's like, here's 50 ships that we're going to change all at once, and here's a new meta for you to go figure out. So and the economics around that. So yeah, I think it's pretty successful, and we'll probably keep up this pace. If anything breaks in between, we have space. We totally will make changes if we need to, but nothing feels broken or off right now.
But if we talk about it from kind of like the philosophy going into just the tuning and the balancing, you have this, like you're saying, individual ship balancing and such, but it's also ecosystem basically.
Yep.
So what's the philosophy going into this?
Yeah. So I mean, we can talk a little bit about this. Something you and I have jammed on a bit is do we, since major updates are like a new pattern we're establishing, we're looking at the pattern that seems to be working right now. Last March was an ecosystem one, so that was more focused on things like resources, taxes, general mineral availability.
Shocker
all
Rattati shows up and
we've
mentioned taxes.
Stuff. Yeah. We love our taxes, right?
No, I mean, whenever tax season comes around in Iceland, I call Rattati and just, hey, do you want to sit down with me? I'm about to do my taxes. I hate it, but I know this is.
Next time we should next time we do this show, we should just start like chatting and we talk about taxes, and you just like pop up from under the desk. Taxes.
Rattati would want me to live stream the tax return.
I assure you, I think I'm talking about taxes way more than Rattati these days. But so I think we're looking at maybe our earlier release in the year being more ecosystem focused, and later in the year being more ship focused. We're still kind of like thinking through that, so not fully committed to it yet. But there will always be a blend. Like there's no. It must be this way currently.
But let me stop you a little bit, because you said release there, our earlier in the year and our later in the year. The later in the year being focused on like you said, ships.
Yes.
Are you talking about expansions here?
No, major updates specifically.
You're talking about major updates
here.
Right.
Yeah. The expansion is a more of a staple thing.
Right.
Like,
so you're talking about tuning here.
Yes,
That's
right.
right. We're still on that. Yeah. I felt like it gone.
The spring major update might be 60% ecosystem mining, stuff like that, trade, whatever, 20% ships, 10% quality of life, and then you switch up the ratio on the second one. It's a moving target. We also just need to fix what need to fix sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, I cut you off there.
No,
but,
that's good. I think I was just rambling.
So on that topic, I'm going to move to the next one.
Sure.
The map and the Neocom, very specific things that people hold close to heart. Have I tried the 2D map? Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, this is one definitely. So spending a bit of time with the community, reading messaging, and what players are talking about. I heard there's a major update, but you guys talked about this stuff at FanFest. We're excited about it. Where is it?
But that ties into kind of this feeling that people have that what is discussed at FanFest is only for Legion, basically. And now it's like the final Legion major update. Yep. But hey.
Yeah. The perception at FanFest is just about the next expansion.
While
FanFest is about the next
12 to
18 months. Yes.
Yeah. So we where we can, I think at FanFest, we try to be specific, but like game development, it's hard. Timing things is weird. And so really we'll just try to give clarity as soon as we know when a thing can be, we'll like come and talk about it. In this case, we're not doing the Neocom for the major update, obviously, or the map. So that's not the intention. However, it's a little like keep watching. We're going to be talking about map stuff pretty soon, so not going to say quite when yet because I don't want to spoil things for other people who are involved in the map. But
Is that the point where I go like and subscribe?
Like and subscribe, yeah. Just pay attention. It'll be soon. Soon, I promise. Soon, right? Soon.
Yeah,
Soon?
soon.
Yeah, the word soon
should
is
have
the
like,
most annoying.
Like very soon. How about
no,
very soon?
Should have like the judges when you 6, 7 kind of thing. We could have like soon TM.
Yeah,
like-
exactly. Soon. Actually, I have
Give me emojis in game, and I'll give you emojis in my podcast.
to find it. I have a T-shirt with like a cat on it, and it's like evil looking, and it says "soon." I should just wear that. So these, I know it sucks to hear soon, but like I really mean soon. So like,
Yeah. So I think it also sucks for us. Like,
Yeah.
it is very like this is not just making stuff. Like there is stuff that happens on the way. So for every feature, we have just a level of commitment. We literally never know, and no one can ever know if it's going to be in the expansion. We just have a cone of certainty. Some things are anchored, and we just have to have them, hell or high water. So there's a commitment. There's approved for expansion. There's probably an expansion. Hope is an expansion, kind of. And sometimes they're a moving target a little bit. Like sometimes we think, okay, well, they're both approved, but we can definitely get this one first in. That's the more important one. Now, is it on date, or is it in the kind of post-release, like in the first 30 days after expansion, where we're trying to clean up all the stuff that we almost got into the expansion? So this is not an exact science, but both of these things are in the state of approved and committed. It's just delivery is soon.
And I just want to talk about why I'm saying soon and why I'm not telling people. Like I think there's actually something important here too, which is like first off, I love spoiling shit and I'll like talk about stuff all night and all day. Like if I can, I'll do it. But there's often like a lot of people who are like super invested and involved in these things on the development side, and I know that they have some plans. So I just want to like make space for them to be able to like kind of own the cool stuff that they've been doing, and I know that they're going to do that soon. So that's why I say soon and not say when it's going to be.
Fair enough.
Or if
yeah.
Well, we've kind of told the if a lot of times on this specific one.
You
But
never
yeah.
know.
You never know. No.
But if there is one if, so kind of not if. The Neocom colors, so that's still a thing we have prioritized. We want it's not going to happen just yet. Well, it's definitely like we'll talk about it when it's going to happen. It is on our big backlog of things that are moving through stuff, but just to set some expectations, it's not soon.
All right. Yeah, it's one of those things that I've, for example, as a player, never been like super invested in, but I can definitely feel there's a lot of people that are super invested in
totally.
that exact thing.
I think people like customization and just like being able to lay things out and make it look the way you want. Like it matters a lot.
Yeah, but then people like me don't have style, taste, or the ability to do something pretty, so
go.
I just kind of
Sure.
go
Yeah,
with
sure.
what
Yeah.
I mean, I
What's
just saw your
default?
Photoshop skills earlier, right?
Yeah. No, but and the funny thing about this, on the whole map thing, and I promise you, the group working on that are just, you know, a joy to talk to about this stuff, and
They're crushing it.
I've been pulled in quite a few times, and like I think they are asking me to try something out, but it's just as a player, how do you do this? And then I notice that they're just super like creepily looking at my fingers and stuff. Like what is he clicking? How does he?
What are you doing
that?
with your pinky?
Yeah,
there?
like did you left click or did you right click? You know, it's like looking for all those things. So yeah, and but it's so funny because in so many levels of game development, quite often the things that seem really simple are so freaking complex. And when you start thinking about just the amount of data that is actually being harvested and displayed and stuff like that in the map, it is bonkers. So, but yeah,
you don't see some of this like qualitative and quantitative. Like we collect a lot of data, but we also study people and ask the surveys, etc. And we get people into here. We have this kind of one-way glass thing where we observe people playing Eve. And we've been doing some of these experiments now in the last couple of weeks where we just basically, those of us who had kids, we made them play Eve. Just see what happened. And those were the probably they're very, very interesting observations.
Maybe we should actually
probably-
like bring out some of the quotes from that that playtest. It was pretty funny.
I think "Dad, I hate you" was one.
yeah.
That's a different top now.
Yeah.
But I've been pitching Okami loads of ideas, and I don't know why I can't do a podcast with you without this coming up. But like,
Sure.
you know, I want to start young.
Yeah.
Give my kid a controller, let him fly a drone. A teenager, he could fly the Gecko. You know, just manually piloting that stuff. I still don't understand why I haven't been pulled into games.
Start him out in like a
multiplayer
Hornet
ships.
or something.
Multiplayer
like,
ships.
yeah.
That's where you like someone.
a backseat gunner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
B-117 or
Yeah, we could have
Flying
like
Fortress?
the backpacks, the carry children backpacks, kind of Björn thingy.
Yeah.
Like, we could name that after our own Björn B.
Yeah, sure.
know? Yeah,
But the things you notice when you watch someone do something and you're like, okay, following a script, and you're like taking notes, and you're like, dude, you missed 3 of the coolest parts
Yeah.
because you were just not paying attention, or you looked at your phone or something, and I'm like, wow, this is annoying. Like just crafting an experience, like a new player experience or whatever, and you're like, okay,
Just skip that.
you just missed everything.
yeah, and I think like one of the things that I have also noticed. I mean, I started playing the game when it was half a year into its lifetime, like out of beta or something like that. And a lot of the stuff I picked up back then is still muscle memory. While loads of ways to do things simpler, better, or whatever have been implemented. And there's a lot of ways in Eve to like accomplish the same result for you. Now I'm talking like just from actually navigating it.
Yeah.
That I didn't even know existed. You know, so it was really cool when we had the little things, for example, the other day, and Karko was telling us about she was in a fleet and she just had troubles with how she arranged people on the watch list.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, right, yeah, of course, you know, that's a feature that, you know, gets added or something like that. And there's been so many features like that that I may have missed or whatever. I keep learning new stuff about this.
So even in we have multiple CSM channels, internal, like a core experience ecosystem where like we have like topics and subject matter experts listening. We even have CSMers saying it would be great, like literal 20-year veterans. Just we should have this, and someone said, "Dude, we have it.
We had it for 10 years."
Yeah, it's just that's a thing here."
Yep, absolutely. Okay. Next up, you mentioned it earlier. You did as well. Gold Rush.
Mm-hmm.
Lay it on me. What's the
So that
the plan here now?
that-
Where are we?
Well, we're pretty good along, I'd say.
Have we found
So what is Gold Rush? Again, this is another, fan fest. We like to tease things. We like to kind of just maybe plant a seed as well. And so Gold
Rattati on stage?
Rattati on stage, that's right. Man of mystery. But like Gold Rush
Getting us in
is no. Gold Rush is like an internal theme for us around development, used to just kind of inspire a direction. And I've seen a lot of like chatter about it in Discord and on the community. What is it? Speculation. I think a lot of people are speculating pretty close.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, at least the first iteration of it.
Exactly. The first iteration of it. Just to be clear, it's not an expansion. It's not the name of an expansion. It's a theme of development. And just like organizational goals, which turned into corp goals, freelance goals, and many iterations of a thing, it's something that we'll take thematically and kind of carry forward through expansion to expansion. So I can say, I think openly here, like you'll see the first iteration of that in the next expansion. What that is, as we get a little closer and more on the hype train, we'll start to open that up and talk about it a bit more. So when people ask, where's Gold Rush? I think that's where you'll
This
expect
is
to
a
see.
manifestation of that, the first one, the first milestone. And then we will learn from that and keep building.
But I had a Gold Rush experience in game.
Did you? 2
2 days ago,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. It was probably just the night when Operation Nemesis started. We were chilling, doing some stuff, and we're like, oh, let's see if there's a convoy spawn. Oh, it's in 3%. Bam, convoy spawn. And we kind of decided we were not in ships prepped for this. And we just started burning. 16 jumps. Gold rush. There was a convoy somewhere. Did we think about what we were about to do? No. Did we have probes? No. Did we have anything thought out? No. One was in a T3 destroyer. I was in my Proteus. And then there was a Brutix hull tank. So it was really fast, for the race. And we did not arrive at the same time. I will tell you that. 16 jumps through NPC null into hostile null.
Cool.
We're there. And we're like, oh, shit, it's probably gone. No, wait, the map says it's there. Oh, why can't I find it? Where is it? We start, just crazily running around. The one that goes like, guys, you probably just haven't even added it to your overview. Bam. Yes, I start scanning. I find them. We start hunting them down. Local is rising, blah, 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 And we managed to find 2 of them,
Really?
Engage. They warp away. Like, shit, we have to scram them?
Yeah.
We managed to get 2 of them. And we had no idea about anything, but it was really fun. And like the whole Gold Rush feel of rushing there, trying to beat somebody, like, oh, there's somebody going to be there before me, this is going to be gone. So the prospect of Gold Rush sounds fun to me. I mean, I would not enjoy if this was my gameplay in every single element, but that's the point about EVE. You get these events and stuff, and if you actually participate in them and you try this stuff out, the whole, like, at least Operation Nemesis experience on the EVE side there, made me actually be a little bit late for work the morning after because we ended up spending like an extra 90 minutes and it was already AM.
Yeah. And then you're all of a sudden somewhere else and like, why not do something else? Mess up something, like raid a skyhook or whatever?
Did we grab 6 kills on our way back? Yes, we did.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
So this sounded like a script, almost. Like I didn't know even you guys did this, but like this is exactly what the idea was. Just,
I came over
just to have fun with it.
I came over to Okami in the morning after, and just like the team, I was like, guys, I got exactly what I wanted there. Except the only thing I would have wanted was to get a fight on the convoy, which didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because the people that found it after us were like friends.
Okay.
Could have killed them though, just for the content.
Yeah, maybe should have.
Yeah, probably.
That's the idea.
Know.
It's
Now they
kind
know.
of like a surprise and delight. Like, okay.
Yeah. And then like
not everyone's
and
gonna do
everything,
it.
it was awesome.
You just don't have to do it. Like not every content is for everyone. So it's I think if we just jump into what we'd like to do better or more in the future, and I'm not saying this is Gold Rush. This was a Gold Rush moment. This was a fun anticipation thing. But we have been building a bridge from Vanguard since First Strike, since 2 years ago. And that's just our commitment to say, this is not an if or a maybe or a anything. It's a hard commitment that we're going to have multiple links between the games, both to and from EVE to Vanguard, Vanguard to EVE. We are just focusing on building one strand at a time. Like just it's going to be a web in the end, because there's no one single connection that's going to make like everything fun and great for everyone. So it's way more, okay, can we have an impact here on insurgencies? That was the first step. Vanguard players do stuff that raises the insurgency level, helping the pirates or fighting against the pirates. That was just test one, temporarily, because we don't want to mess up the ecosystem. We want to do something crazy to undermine the activities of everyone else. So just like really soft. And then you kind of get the feeling of like, why even bother? We're going to find the balance. We're going to tune this and iterate on it. So we are planning to have evergreen connections, not just event-based. When Vanguard is fully live 24/7, there will, like, we hope to have multiple links, gameplay to gameplay, basically asynchronous. So like we don't have to have like, you're not saying like fire now. Like it won't work. There are different time zones.
So cool though.
I'm not saying never, but it's just very hard, and it involves a lot of waiting for both parties.
Yep.
And it just doesn't make sense. Your combined arms doesn't mean
we're proving and testing that this stuff works.
Yes,
And what can
it's
be
a
added on to.
technical point.
So things happen in one game, they trigger events in the other game.
Exactly.
And now
That's exactly
to
right.
somebody that maybe isn't in development, when I say triggers on an event in the other game, that kind of sounds like, oh, it spawns a convoy. But that could also be it raises a standing that my character has, or
Exactly.
it can be almost whatever.
It can be almost whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, for this event, like I'm incredibly happy with it. Like I think it's going really well.
Feedback is good.
Yeah, feedback is good. Like I've seen tons of feedback. Some people have like super valid like critique of it as well. Happy to hear that. I think just like the most important parts for me were when you're in Eve, you can see that people are doing something in Vanguard.
Mhm.
And when they do enough of that thing, you can see where they are in progress. Something happens. The universe responds to that and creates something interesting that anyone could participate in. So and find fun and rewarding. And it sounds like you had a moment with that, which is great.
I did. I think the only thing that like I would have wanted from this, which I know is something that we've already discussed internally and has been in the feedback, is basically Eve is vast. And if I or somebody affiliated with me goes in and puts in the effort in Vanguard, and as of now, this is communal goals and random spawns and everything like that. Like, how does that affect me or my group or my corporation or something like that?
This is great for all of us. How can it be good for me and my friends? Yes.
But obviously, I would never think of. I would only think of
No,
the
you
greater
would
good. I would not.
Of course.
No
Right.
way.
Yeah.
I would be looking for me.
I think it's just and I think I answered it somewhere on something, Discord or
yeah. So
Reddit
go
or
somewhere and
go
read
somewhere, find
something,
it.
and you will find the answer.
It to me, it's like it can be inferred. Like that's the obvious next step. Maybe it's not obvious to everyone. Like nothing is obvious, but the next step is what we call social affiliation. So like, how can Vanguard say, I'm going to promote a side, pick a side and help that like specifically. So let's say we've already done that with the insurgency. You would help the pirates or the anti-pirates, or you can help the angels or the Guristas. Like, so we've already said like you can help these or these, but how can you help player organizations? Then you need some kind of social affiliation or connection. We're just, I'll take it off the table. We're not going to do the same corporations. Like there's not going to be a matching corporation on the Vanguard side. That's just like not what we're aiming for. We're aiming for more a loose affiliation where you can say like, I want to support X. And the simplest way to do that would just be like, here's a list of corporations in Eve. Which ones do you want to like affiliate yourself with? Like not even be a part of. You're just like, I'm going to support these guys. And when that happens, then now we have a connection to say like, hey, where do they live? What's proximity to that, etc. And have some kind of smart engine that's now listening to loads of choices on the planet side, kind of being translated to something on the space side.
There's also bastions, right? And bastions are going to have sort of locality and regionality to them. So as you're saying, like, I want to spawn convoys for us with some degree of certainty. Maybe you do things in Vanguard related to that bastion, which meant it would respond in that regionality in Eve. That kind of stuff.
And
maybe on a constellation level or not necessarily in a system.
You're mentioning it as like convoys, but obviously that's kind of just like a broad
I mean,
thing.
it could be what I'm just using the specific example we
yeah.
have today.
Yeah, but I think from my experience as a player, I'm at least really pleased with the experience I've gotten there, I really look forward to the connection, and I'm sure Eve players will find a way to have the same cooperation on both sides. But let's figure that out.
The Eve players solve many things.
Anything else we wanna discuss on Operation Nemesis? Like,
yeah, I mean, I'll touch on it real quick. I think the number of convoys we're seeing spawning right now is a little bit lower than we anticipated. So it's always hard to tune these things, especially because it's between two games and one doesn't have a full like continual release right now. So with that said, I think in the heading into the next weekend or so here, we're looking at tuning that up a bit, maybe just rebalancing and changing a few things about the convoys overall. But this is an experimental thing for us. We're learning, so we're just going to keep an eye on it and just keep make any small adjustments as we need to. So the first one's going to come soon, and we'll see where things go from there.
And err on the safe side That's the whole philosophy around this.
Mm-hmm.
Where we don't want to mess up.
Start low,
anything.
then increase over time.
On Vanguard itself, I think it's in your launcher. Go try it out. It is actually. Don't take my word for it. Watch streamers. Check out some of the just the solid reviews that are both on Eve Reddit forums, Eve Vanguard Reddit. There's just a lot of interesting stuff there. It's almost like a microcosm of Eve. It is the idea behind the whole ecosystem. It's career based. It's activity based. Yeah. It's not an extraction shooter. It's way more of a sandbox of activities.
I think if you look into that bit, and because that ties back into Eve, once people start playing it and kind of understand that the gameplay loop is your daily loop is in many ways very similar to what you would do on Eve. It's just at a faster pace. It's in a different way.
Eve is an extraction shooter. You deploy and extract.
You deploy and you undock and you try to get back.
With loot.
Usually you don't, but at least not if you fly with me.
Lose everything if you
that's
die.
My friends like you said earlier.
Right, yeah.
But and I never really got that sense as strongly while playtesting and stuff until now in Operation Nemesis, where it's there are Vanguards over there. We're not shooting each other because we're kind of trying to just finish the same objective here. I'm very wary that, somebody there. There's a bear over there. He just recently ate, so he's not hungry. It's all of that, and yeah, how it doesn't quite feel like a deployment and an extraction where you're trying to survive as long as you can and then get out with the stuff, kind of just to go back in with it. But you're rather searching for specific resources for your industry,
blueprints,
for all that stuff.
All that stuff. It's a objective based progression. You want to keep progressing. It's not just about
I almost feel like we could have even done a little bit less of it this time around, because like in Eve you don't want to fly your Corvette too long. And that's kind of what you're doing when you drop in a Vanguard at first now. But
I think it's just how we have approached it. To be very honest,
people are just getting
open.
the true feeling.
I think now, like Pinocchio is becoming a little bit more of a real boy in that sense. So it was harder last time to kind of see where we were going. I think this is fleshes out most of the core systems that we're aiming for, and now more polish. More things to do, I think, is something that we want to aim at.
Yeah. There's one other thing that you mentioned to me that you really wanted to
Sure.
Discuss. The Union Days and so like we had the Caldari Union Day now the other day.
Yep.
All these faction days and kind of events that, I mean, some people feel like they've kind of faded.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because there is a lot of community feedback with it, and I think it's better just to be transparent and talk about it. This was all I think pre-me. I actually never really participated in building these events, but there's something that there's a lot of passion for in the community. Are we going to do them again? Do we want to do them? I think we do want to do them. It's just a matter of we're finding this balance between our major updates and our expansions, and weaving that sort of thread and creating sort of sanity for ourselves to do these things. So for the time being, we've just not made them a priority, and I don't think that they will be for the next foreseeable little future. But that said, we do still try to find ways to nod to them. We look for narrative moments to just speak to them in game in different ways where we can. And will they ever come back? It's certainly on the table. I don't know what you think. It's just a matter of
I think to talk about this before. It was just a little bit of a kind of scatter shotgun approach to some of these, and we didn't some people love them, and that's basically everything we do. It's just how big of a percent of the player base likes them, and I think we had to kind of weigh everything together, and the same people that do these events are people who do Podfin updates. They do different content things, and we basically invested more in the health of the ecosystem and kind of stronger features than than sporadic events, and that was just a strategic and tactical choice.
I think it's probably though a discussion point worth having maybe on a broader scale. If we look past just the event itself, like you're saying, the development and everything has been super focused now for a while on balancing, introducing new mechanics, fixing areas of space that needed reworks or love. Maybe it's also well, something that we should start trying to do more, which is just the narrative bit, because just the fact that people are talking about this has to do with those things. So
yeah, I think like narrative is super important to us. Earlier this year, we had a new narrative designer that joined us. I think folks got to meet her at FanFest this year, which was great. So that's all settling, and we definitely try to figure out how, like, what is effective narrative in EVE Online? How do we want to tell stories, and what is also like sane for us as developers? Because I think there can be these passion projects. I'll call it the Drifter Crisis as one, where we had like a group of really, intensely invested individuals who wanted to make this happen. And we look at that and say, like, is this a sustainable, repeatable thing for ourselves that we can, do with some degree of sanity, and just look for the best approach to both like bringing people like the most exciting, interesting things that we can for EVE Online. So new features, new ships, balance patches, and then finding a way to say, like, how do we keep this sort of like living storytelling happen among all of that? Because like EVE has narrative. I think maybe we can have a more narrative chat someday.
Yeah,
but
probably just maybe surfacing it a little bit more again, because it's like it was so strong early on, but it's kind of hard to balance them out. Like, and now I'm off topic. I'm talking about this more as an enjoyer rather than ever a dev.
Yeah.
But like, is the narrative of EVE right now what's happening with players, or is it the history of how the factions and such are there?
It's both. It's both. But we like. I mean, go for it. I think you're gonna say.
I think we like, for example, since Uprising, and maybe it's not super clear. It's clear to us when we know the scripts and we see the things happen, but there's been a common thread for all of the expansions, like the fracture of the empires, the shadow war, building the shipcasters, this leading to this Turner. Like, this is a narrative. This is a storyline playing out, unlocking technology, like opening up new factions, creating new NPCs, the deathless ships, all that stuff.
Drifter Crisis.
Exactly, like Drifter Crisis. And this is maybe not obvious, and probably we could do something like a recap, or like tell the story like in a digestible manner.
Yeah.
But we are operating under there's an overarching theme, multi-expansion theme that's going on, and I actually think it's nowhere near done. I think I know things that are happening that you don't.
So he thinks.
I mean, I will say one thing, like with the Union Days and stuff, like we have been talking, like we know the importance of the different empires to everybody. Like, they're one of the first things you're kind of greeted with when you come into the game. You're asked to choose which you want to sort of align with. And that becomes a pretty core part of a lot of people's identities. The ships you fly, and who you are, and kind of who you represent in game. And there's big role-playing groups. So we know like how important the empires are, and I think we'd love to do more there. So I don't know what that looks like yet, but I'm just saying we reflect that we understand the importance, and that we'd love to see them kind of rise up a little bit more.
Yeah. You also mentioned earlier, like the Drifter Crisis. We've had quite a few events. Crimson Harvest seems to come around at a similar time every year. GM Week coming up. There's loads of events still.
Yeah.
So it's not a question of, something necessarily being
they've been replaced by other things, yes, in some way.
Yeah, and there couldn't always be an event either. But I agree, like especially with the factions and such, that yeah.
I think there's
pretty big.
tentpoles that we need to stick to, and you mentioned Crimson Harvest, Winter Nexus, Capture Day. Like
Mhm.
those are the kind of tentpole things that we've committed to. I think there's space for one more, just to kind of even out the year.
I can come up with some ideas.
I think there's,
Monty's Bonanza week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do a lot.
but I think the issue is also like, is it repeatable, kind of like expected content, or like what's the expectation? Is it I like it because it's always the same, or I like it because something happens at the same time? These are two different expectations, because one might say like, oh, it's just reskinned since last year, and we were like, yeah, but these people love that part, like
Mhm.
this
Mhm.
that's their favorite part when we redo the thing. So it is also driven by like multiple motivations, I think. So it's hard to please everyone, is my
It's impossible to please everyone. It would always
And
will.
to be honest with Eve, I don't think we should. I don't think
No.
we should
No.
try to please everybody. I think we should really focus on who we want to make these things for and make it as good for them as
Exactly.
possible.
Yeah.
And it's such a big universe with so many things to do that there is something for everybody.
exactly.
What I was explaining with my experience with the convoy
Convoys,
when
yeah.
I was running after them, it wasn't solved content.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That was what was beautiful about it, because the unsolved content that I play is mostly PvP.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The PvE stuff I do is very solved content, but that was unsolved content for me. You know,
So
Yeah.
many side my Okami side tangent here. The thing that I've
the
already
Okami side is
I've talked a little bit about this on different dev chats and stuff. But what you're seeing, I think, is the start of something that I'm calling like dynamism, which is surprise and not being able to necessarily 100% pin down exactly how something will work, but have to be clever, use a little ingenuity, maybe make some quick decisions and change what you're doing in a
Adapt.
moment to say like, there's an opportunity here. Do we jump on it or not? And like that's something that I'm looking forward to us kind of iterating on and more in the next couple of years, probably.
And that-
Unpredictable.
yeah, but that sounds like you're saying like a beautiful way to move forward, but at the same time, like endless unpredictability is not something that everybody wants. So that's where we
Yes.
get back to that point.
Yeah.
But like, I completely agree. Like these moments where it's like, I just gotta go for it.
Some
It's
people like to log in, go start up their mining op, go mine. They know where they're going, and that's chill. That's the game they want to play. We know that. So like that will be there for them. And then some people like opportunities, like yourself. When you log in, you're like, yeah, let's go check out and fight some people over here or something. Oh, wait, like what's that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Screw it. Let's go check it out. And like that creates something engaging for you. So yeah.
That is a table. Just if you're
This is a table, yes.
Yeah.
But this over here is a convoy.
oh, Okami, we've done a whole episode, and there's not been a dad joke from you.
You know, these are hard to do on the fly.
Yeah,
I can tell my Icelandic one. I told you guys earlier. Should we do it just for
For
the
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 Icelandic
lulls.
speaking,
yeah?
like we have to do it now, but yes,
Okay, so I'm I live in Iceland and I'm taking Icelandic classes and I'm learning words and things. I think I'm in my like 5th week right now or something. And so in my class, my teacher was teaching us some new vocabulary, and I learned the word for food. So in Icelandic, what's the word for food?
matur.
So I asked my Icelandic teacher, I'm going to ask
Yeah.
Rattati, have you ever had a matur baby?
What's the matter, baby?
Nothing, sugar. What's the matter with you?
This will go
Eh,
viral.
eh.
So
Thing
he,
is-
like, I think you heard this before, and then it
Yeah,
still
it just
hurts.
sounded even worse now. So
So now I'm in Icelandic jail. I'm going there right after this in the cuffs.
or just
Out
general
loud,
jail.
yeah. Yeah,
after
exactly.
that. No. Thank you,
Yeah.
Okami. I was gonna suggest earlier that we do like Okami reads Eve,
Poetry.
Eve stories. He's got the voice. I would like to like listen to that just while falling asleep. But then he would throw something this in. I could like
some sleep stories, and I'll just throw in a dad joke, and it'll just like angry. You'll be angry.
Yeah. I'll just need to go to the kitchen and make coffee or something.
Midnight snack.
Yeah. All right, guys. Anything you wanna add to this? Are we forgetting something? Is there some feedback that we?
No, I mean, like, keep the feedback coming. Like, we're always looking at it. I know you send me Reddit links all the time. Like, check this out. We're on there. I'm on Discord. No. I'm gonna give it away. We look at what you guys say. We know, and we like to do things about it. So like, keep the feedback coming to me. Keep the feedback coming to Rattati. All of the changes that we're making based on these events and stuff, like, it's all feedback based. Ship balancing, feedback based. So keep talking to us, and we'll be there on Reddit and on Discord, and let's talk. That's it.
Sweet. Guys, thanks for dropping by, and thank you all for tuning in and listening. Until next time.
Until next time.
Until next time.